So the first thing we want to talk about is bringing your puppy home to your life. Kathy Callahan is a well-known dog trainer and puppy foster, and she reminds us you just kidnapped an alien. From the puppy's point of view, going home can be scary. It's often the first time they're separated from their mom and siblings. You're excited, but they're overwhelmed and a little terrified, so keep your expectations realistic. For this reason, I'm about to give some hard advice. Now, I know everyone is eager to meet the new baby, and you're excited to take your puppy out and about. However, the first few days that you bring your puppy home should be low key. Keep it calm, have no plans, very simple. Imagine this, you've been dropped onto an alien planet, you don't speak the language, you don't know the culture, and you've been taken from your family. Would you want to be thrown into a big party on your first day? Absolutely not. So let the first few days be peaceful so your puppy can adjust and feel comfortable in their new home. Pro tip, if you know yourself and you will find it too tempting to invite people over, or maybe you have some pushy folks in your life, wait to announce that you even got a puppy for about 5 days. The advice we have for setting your puppy up for success is creating a puppy zone. This is where they can interact with their world without failure. You're going to follow the 4 Ps. Pen, have an enclosure for them. Pick up, make sure there's nothing in that puppy zone that they can get in trouble with. Play, it should have plenty of items for play and enrichment. And pause, especially if you have other dogs or kids in your home, make sure your puppy zone is also an area your puppy can take a nap or rest. And be intentional. Treat other rooms and spaces in your home like a field trip. This brings me to a topic that every dog adopter should know about, and that is management. If we think about management versus training, training is all about creating a dog that fits the world, and management is about creating a world that fits the dog in front of you. Management always comes first. You cannot have effective training without the foundational layer being management. Typical examples of management are crates, gates, pens, tethers, leashes, window film, white noise. They're going to be things that you modify the environment with to make unwanted behavior unlikely or impossible altogether. Continuing on with this conversation around training and management, good training should be intentional. Don't try to train on the fly. Many people wrongly think that they will simply bring their puppy into their lives, and then as behaviors and situations arise, they will deal with them accordingly in the moment. However, you want to be proactive in your training, not reactive in your training. Reactive training leads to reactive dogs. Big emotions from humans, frustration and irritation, will lead to a dog who also has a short emotional fuse. And another thing is that practice makes perfect. Dogs get really good at what they practice. If you don't want a dog doing a behavior, they can't be rehearsing that behavior regularly. A common example is someone who reaches out to me that their dog is barking at the mailman. The first thing I want them to do in that situation is management. If the dog is barking at the mailman 6 days a week, they are really good at that behavior and you're not going to be able to train it out of them. Instead, you need to first manage the situation. Use things like pens around the windows, window film on the windows, or maybe white noise so the dog can't hear the mailman arrive. Then you start training once that stuff is in place. The goal is always to tee them up for success. We want to think of our lives and our puppy like bumpers at a bowling alley. We're funneling them away from behaviors we don't want and towards behaviors we do want. Getting out of the theory and into the concrete for a moment, a realistic expectation is that heavy management will be necessary for the first year minimum. This means that if you send me a picture from the first year of bringing your puppy home, I expect to see things like gates, crates, white noise, maybe pens around distracting areas such as junk shelves, things of that nature. I love this quote from dog trainer Kathy Sadeo, which is, "Be a choice architect for your dog." This means you can think about designing their environment where you've helped them make the right choices that you can now reinforce. Here are some examples of puppy zones from previous fosters and adopters. I love this example. You can see they took a crate and zip tied an X pen to it. There's a lot of enrichment items in there and a quiet space for the puppy to nap. This is the setup I use when I have a puppy foster. I use a soft-sided crate that can move around room to room with me throughout the home. Underneath the soft-sided crate, I put a waterproof tablecloth. Here are some examples of X-pens and gates being used to funnel a puppy away from zones where they might get into trouble. That on the left is a junk shelf. There's tape at the bottom, so many fun things for your puppy to run off with. And on the right is a bookshelf. Puppies love to chew books, so an X pen was put up to keep the puppy away from that space. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of your Puppy Zone checklist. The first one I feel like I barely need to mention. Everyone is excited to go out and buy their puppy some new toys for games and exercise. A fun tidbit is that play opens up neuroplasticity in the mammal brain. This is a state of hyperlearning. That's why toggling between play and training is a great way to boost learning in your puppy. Remember how I said that I expect to see management in use in your home for the first year minimum? Well, I also expect to see treats up high in every single room and in all your pockets for the first year that you have your puppy home. And that's because young dogs have short attention spans and require brief, frequent training sessions. A good way to know that you're doing this right is if you're having frequent conversations with your spouse or significant other about who accidentally put treats through the washing machine in their pockets. It's helpful to remember that dogs live in captivity. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's a fact. Our dogs are living in a world that is not built for them. So, one thing that we can do, like zookeepers at the zoo, is curate activities that give them outlets for normal dog behavior. Our dogs are scavengers, they're predators, and in our case, Newfoundlands, which means they have breed-specific behaviors. This is called enrichment. Now we have some pictures of puppies doing enrichment activities. This is a snuffle ball where the puppies snuffle through to find treats. This taps into their scavenger DNA. Bones tap into their predator DNA. Here is a puppy with a bone, another puppy with a bone, and of course, we have a puppy on the left here with another snuffle mat and a puppy with a Kong. I love that she is just passed out next to that Kong. She must have been quite tired after working on that. And finally, be sure that you are giving your puppy appropriate time to relax and rest without interruption or stimulation.